So today I want to share with you something that we came up, or we decided to talk about in the chapel. I didn't know what to tell the kids this morning somehow, and they came up with an idea. So we talked about the Gospels. What is the Gospel in Greek? How do you say Gospel in Greek? So Evangelion, now it's a trick question. What does Evangelion mean? Good news. So when we say Gospel, do you really understand good news? The name of the book is Good News, right? So we talked about that. We talked about there are 4 Gospels, right? How many books are in the Gospels? 4. Why did they write so little amount of books? Why didn't they write millions of books? That's what St. John said, right? If we write everything that Jesus did and said, there would be no room on the planet. There would be so much. You know that I was tempted to go check Google and see how many books have been written about the Gospels. Does anybody know how many books in the world have been written about the Gospels? A lot, right? Millions of books. So we said, what did they write? How did they pick which ones to write and which ones not to write? What do you think? I don't know. So St. John, the evangelist, said, this is all you need for your salvation. There are other millions and trillions of things that Jesus did. They were good stuff. We enjoyed it, but you don't need for your salvation. This is enough for your salvation. So, then we said that must mean that there are some stories that are more important than other stories, right? So which stories did we pick that were very important that are in the Gospel? I give an example. The story of 10 lepers coming to Jesus and saying, Jesus, Son of God, have mercy on us. Is that important or not? It's very important, but it's not the most important, right? So what did we say? We didn't have time to go through all the important stories of the Gospel, but we touched on 2. Which one is the number 1, the most important story? Annunciation. Okay, I'm going to open the doors so that you can see. That's the Annunciation, right? Literally, what we say in Greek about Annunciation is giving of the good news. Does Annunciation mean that? I can announce anything, right? I make announcements here. Is that good news? Most of the time, it's okay news. But Annunciation was the good news. What was the good news? What was it about? How was it a good news? About Jesus being born. The God from heaven sent an angel to Mary, a young girl, and said, I promise to send the Messiah, and this is my promise. I'm sending the Messiah, Christ, to come and save the world. That's what the good news was. That's how important it is. It's the news about salvation. It's almost like your friend goes to the woods and he gets in trouble, and breaks his leg or something, and then he calls you and says, I need your help. And you don't pick up your phone. He leaves a message, right? And then later you call him back and say, by the way, I am on my way to save you, to help you. That's how important, even more important, the message of the archangel was to Mary. You guys are all in trouble. I am on my way to help you. That's what Jesus was telling Mary. When are we celebrating the Evangelismos? In 6 days, on the 25th, right? So that's the first important message, important story in the New Testament. So the second one, Theodore, what's the second story that is very important in the New Testament? The birth of Christ, right? So imagine you called your friend who was in trouble in the woods, and you said, hey buddy, I'm on my way, hang on, I will be right there. And then you didn't go. What would that be? That would be fake news, right? Fake evangelism. right? So then, we need to learn today, that's important, that when God gives a promise, He keeps it. When He said to Israelites, many, many years, be ready, I will send the Messiah to save you. And then He said the angel to Mary on the 25th of March, telling her that I am coming, and I'm coming through you. That was a promise. Like you call your body and say, hey, hang out there, I will be there. I am in Boston and you are in New Hampshire. I am on the highway, I'm coming, right? So what if you get distracted on the way and you didn't make it to New Hampshire and you forgot about your friend? You were hungry, you run out of gas, you went to the gas station, you saw there's some nice restaurant there, you sit down, you eat, and then you realize, oh, I haven't been in the gym for a while, and then you go to the gym and you exercise and your friend is bleeding over there, right, in the woods, right? And then you say, now I'm really tired, I need to swim a little bit, right? And then you go home and then you say, let me watch this TV show that I have been watching for a while and I've missed it, right? And then midnight, you remember, oh my gosh, my friend, I promised to go, right? So when you go, will he be still there? He probably will be dead, all right? So when you promise something, what are you supposed to do? Follow it quickly, right? Go right there, he's hurting. That's how God is. He keeps His promises. When He tells us He will do something for us, He does it. Well, when we promise God to do something, what happens most of the time? Well, Lord, we'll fast 40 days, right? And then now we fast 1 week, and then I was like, oh, those cucumbers really look good. I mean, no, not cucumbers. Cucumbers are not that cheese, it's for me. The cheese looks really good, right? I really want feta. Right? And then we eat feta. And then we say to the Lord, yes, but I'll be nice to people. Instead of fasting, I'll just be nice to people. Right? And then all of a sudden somebody steps on your toe, what do? What do you flip on them, right? And then say, oh my gosh. So we don't keep our promises. But how does God treat us when we don't keep our promises? He is very patient. It's very patient. But do we have to take advantage of God's patience? No. So God keeps His promises. We need to keep our promises. When He promised on the 25th that He will send His Son, the Messiah, in the new good news, in the Bible, in the New Testament, in the Evangelion, He promised, and then 9 months later, on December 25th, He fulfilled His promise. Jesus came into this world being born from Mary. So these are the two very important stories. There are other stories that are important, about maximum 10 of them are very important. And then the rest of the stories, it's like, you have the skeleton is the most important, right? And then you have the muscles on it, as the rest of the stories are like the muscles on the skeleton, all right? We'll talk about it later.